Все, меня слышно?
Сейчас еще раз. Все, трансляция началась, у вас уже слышно.
Хорошо. Okay, students, my dear students, I hope you hear me. I'm very happy to read a lecture for you finally. It took really long time to communicate with you today because of some technical issues, but anyway, I succeeded in this, and so we begin. First of all, I want to thank my students of my groups who attend online classes really well. We don't have any absences, and I'm sure that you will keep on your progress and you will do as much effort as you can. So other students, please remember that you still are going to have exam, and during every lecture which we give you, all our teachers, please try to be attentive, try to make some notes, and if you have questions, you can always ask teachers of our department to help you with these questions. We worry about you, and we want you to have best knowledge, even online, which we can give you. So let's begin. Last lecture we talked about phylum Arthropoda, and we discussed about ticks and mites, which are already awakened and which are already waiting for you in the wild nature. And today I will gonna tell you about most numerous representatives, which are called class insecta, Okay, so what do we know about class insecta? That they are most highly developed out of all non-vertebrates. We know just around 1 million species, but the real number of these creatures over exceed more than 6 million. So every year we discover somebody new. I'm sure that all of you have seen insects. Maybe you didn't see Ascaris or Enterobius or Ancylostoma, but insects are everywhere. And very soon they will also wake up. Some of them already woke up. Some of them are living in your room. So those who didn't see insect, look around and you will find one for sure. So insecta. Insecta comes from Latin to cut. Why are they called like this? Because their body is divided into 3 segments: head, thorax, and abdomen. Head, thorax, and abdomen. Head carries compound eyes, or sometimes simple eyes, called ocelli, for sensing of light. Another organs of senses which are present on the head are called antennas. And another thing which is located on the head is 3 pairs of appendages which form different type of mouth parts. Thorax of insect is divided into 3 parts, 3 conjoined parts, which is usually called prothorax, metathorax, and mesothorax. Each part of thorax is connected with appendages, and metathorax usually carries pair or 2 pairs of wings. 2 pairs or 1 pair of wings. Depends on the species or order of insects. All insects are hexapods. Hexa means 6. So all insects are 6-legged. They have 6 working appendages, or 3 pairs of working appendages. So when you met creature, and if you have doubt, it is arachnid like tick, or maybe it is insect, count the legs. The only exception is the larva of hard or ixodidae. It also has 3 pairs of appendages. So here you should not get confused. Okay? So arthropods, I remind you, arthros means joint, jointed appendages. So these creatures, they are able to walk by jointed appendages. And these jointed appendages, they are interconnected. They're pressing on each other, and they are moved by muscles. These muscles are very similar to striated muscles of humans. So after thorax, we have abdomen. Abdomen is also segmented, and it contains usually from 10 to 11 segments. Inside of abdomen, we have most part of digestive, nervous, endocrine, reproductive, and excretory system. So insect's head is designed for coordination, for checking what's going on, because it carries organs of senses and head ganglion. Thorax is essential for movement of insects, and they can cover huge distances. Really, they're very, very mobile, more than Ascaris. And abdomen contains all necessary systems. Okay. Let's take a look. Just one moment. I want to check if you can see me, because I'm worried about this. Do you see me, students? Do you see me? Write in the key if you see, because I cannot move for presentation now. Okay. If you are present, tell your chief that you are present. I will be very happy if you're present, because this lecture might be deleted after some time, and I will not read it again, because your timetable is very limited from biology lectures. This is not because of me. I really want to read for you as much as I can. So please, if you are present, tell your chief that you are present, and chief, please submit for me information only about people who are absent. If whole batch 100 students will write all the time, okay memo, all are present, who is present, we will not be able to work. Other teachers will not be able to work. So my humble request, chiefs, collect information. If somebody is absent, write the name who is absent. Okay? And those people who are absent, they might not have chance to watch this lecture again. Might not. I will try to keep it, but if it will be deleted, it will be their problem, because questions about insects, most of students, they don't answer well. And again, I repeat that I teach you not only for you to pass exam. Medical biology is everywhere, and insects are everywhere. And today I will explain how insects can change history. Yes, it's not exaggeration. So please watch, and in VK, if you have questions, you can write me these questions in VK. Okay, I will try to look time by time, and please, if something goes wrong, write me. I'm here for you. Okay, so let's continue about systems of insects. So insects have all organs and systems very similar to human beings. Their body of insect, segmented body, is covered by chitinous exoskeleton. Many people in many countries like to eat insects as a food product. Why? Because chitin is carbohydrate and it gives actually lots of nutrition. Inside they have secondary body cavity. And they have very well developed, out of all non-invertebrates, very well developed nervous system, which consists of head ganglion and abdominal nervous chain of small nerve ganglia. So large brain, yes, head ganglion is very similar to brain, and from this head ganglion goes down abdominal chain of small ganglia. So organs of senses of insects are very, very different. Compound eyes for 3D picture, simple eyes or ocelli for sensing the light, antennas for tactile sensing, organs of smell, organs of hearing, organs of taste, organs of balance, organs of chemical sense. Yes, insects can smell your hormonal level, can sense your sweat, etc. So organs of senses in most insects are developed very well. So then we have digestive system. It looks like tube, like in nematodes, but it is more complicated. It is also divided into 3 parts. It goes from mouth to anus, yes. And what is different from nematodes? That these guys have glands. So many of insects have salivary glands, and these glands give us lots of trouble, which I will tell you about later. So they give us lots of trouble. Additionally, many of them have glands which are very, very similar to liver and pancreas. So their digestion is more effective. So this is about the digestive system. What is very different from nematodes? That they have respiratory system. All arthropods have respiratory system. Finally, yes. So respiratory system goes inside of the body via specific system of tubes which are called trachea. These trachea are divided into small tracheoles which pass the oxygen, the air from the body surface inside the body. So respiratory system is represented by tracheal tubes. So it remains like small ventilation shafts which pass the air inside of the body. Okay, and what is different from nematodes? One more thing which is different is circulatory system. So finally they have circulation. The blood of insects is called hemolymph. It can be different color, but what is similar for all hemolymph, that it doesn't carry much oxygen. So hemolymph or blood in insects, it does not perform oxygenative function. It carries different substances, sometimes nutrition, sometimes hormonal substances, and yes, insects have endocrine system, and their behavior is very complicated sometimes. So blood doesn't perform oxygenative function, and circulatory system in arthropods and in insects too is open. Circulatory system is open type. So we have large dorsal vessel. Part of this dorsal vessel is similar to heart, and hemolymph circulates, washes the body cavity, and then it goes back to this dorsal vessel, So endocrine system is present. Endocrine system, different hormones are present. This is how, for example, bee queen rule the colony. Many insects have complicated behavior. They form colonies. Excretory system is represented by Malpighian vessels. Sorry. They are very, very similar to kidneys. In beetles, many waste products are accumulated in the form of fat body. Yes. So please, guys, if you are still discussing about attendance, I'm telling you once again, write me chiefs of groups. After lecture, write me the names of people who were absent. That's all. Focus on lecture. Don't focus now on people who are absent. In the end of lecture, please write who are absent. That is all. And please better focus on lecture. And if you have questions about lecture, about information, please write me in the wiki. I have chance to read, and I will respond to you as much as I can. Okay, so Malpighian tules work as the excretory system. Okay, so about development. Of course, insects have a reproductive system. They are dioecious, so they have male and female. They're never hermaphrodite. They have sexual dimorphism, as we discussed in previous classes. So female is different by appearance and larger than male. And what is interesting, that insects undergo indirect development after they are born, and this indirect development is called metamorphosis. Your first semester types of development. So insects can develop either with incomplete metamorphosis and complete metamorphosis. Please remember the difference. Incomplete metamorphosis, we have adults which lay eggs, fertilized eggs, but sometimes unfertilized eggs are also possible, and it is called parthenogenesis. I remind you. Some insects like ants, bees, wasps can do that. So from eggs hatches young form of life called nymph. This nymph is similar to adult, so it has only difference that maybe some organs or reproductive system are underdeveloped yet. Then this nymph grows. How insects grow? They molt. What is molting? They remove their hard exoskeleton, grow, and then grow new exoskeleton, and then change it. So they can molt several times, and then turn into adult. So this is incomplete metamorphosis, when larva is similar to adult. We will talk when we'll discuss lice. And larva very often, or cockroach for example, larva very often feeds on the same food substrate as adult, so it can also give us trouble. Complete metamorphosis, complete transformation. When we have eggs, from eggs hatches larva. Larva is very different from adult. For example, it can look like caterpillar. We will study phylogeny, we'll come back to that. Then larva feeds on something, yes, for quite a long time, and then it becomes immobile, turns into pupa, undergoes complete transformation, and turns into adult. So order Diptera, flies, mosquitoes, they have complete metamorphosis. Why do we need to know this? Because if we know life cycle, we can find weak point, and we can control the pest at the weak point. Why complete metamorphosis appeared? Maybe to stop competition. Maybe it stops the competition between adult and larva, because they usually feed on completely different food substrates. So do you understand this? I hope yes. It is not complicated thing. This is things from general biology knowledge. But anyway, we study them in class, and this question is included into your exam program. So class insecta is really, really interesting. And what is more interesting, that many insects hear about their offspring. So they really, really help their so-called children, larvas, nymphs to grow. Not all, but some of them do. Okay. So in medical biology course, we will start with you. About talking about 4 orders. We'll study with you 4 basic orders which have medical importance. It doesn't mean that class insecta has only 4 orders. No, it has many more, and many of them still have medical importance. For example, like venomous animals, which you are supposed to study at school. But in our department, we study 4 orders. So we study order Anaplura, or lice. Then we study order Siphanoptera, or Aphaniptera, some people pronounce. They call it fleas. Then we talk about order Hemiptera, or bugs. And the last program question, when we talk about arthropods and parasitology. After that we'll go into evolution. We finish with order Diptera. All these are 4 exam questions which you don't usually answer very well. So let's remember our taxonomy, systematic position. Kingdom Animalia, you can repeat together with me. Kingdom Animalia, animals. Subkingdom Metazoa, which animals? Multicellular. Phylum Arthropoda. Remember this name, get used to new sound. Phylum Arthropoda. Class Insecta, insects. And order Anaplura, lice. Siphonoptera, fleas. Hemiptera, bugs. And Diptera, mosquitoes, flies, and sandflies. This is how you start your answer during exam. So let's begin to talk about synanthropic insects. Syn means, if you know Latin, together, and anthropos means human. So insects who have been associated intimately living with humans for many centuries, from even prehistorical times. So many insects have organs of sense, very well developed organs of senses. They're very mobile, but some of them have less biological and morphological progress in the body building, in the body structure, and they decided to live with human and do it successfully till nowadays. So synanthropic insects are insects who are living together with humans for many centuries. Okay, here you can see basic synanthropic insects. Pediculus humanus, capitis, corporis, and Cirrus pubis. All these insects which we call lice. Bedbugs, Simex family. Fleas, human flea, rat flea, dog flea, cat flea, etc. And there is one mistake which you can see, that this is written that scabious mite. This is not scabious mite at all. So internet people don't know all the things. That's why you should listen to our lecture. We give you 100% right information. So it is John Lava of head louse, but it is written like that it is scabious mite, each mite. First of all, I specially left it to remind you that each mite is not insect. Each mite, Sarcoptes scabiei, which causes scabies, belongs to class arachnids. So it's completely different creature. Okay, but anyway, still synanthropic, but it's not insect. Okay, so first we're gonna start from order Anapleura, lice. So I'm sure that all of you have seen lice. Single number is louse. Yes, little bit of English. And multiple number is lice. So one is louse, many are lice. Okay, not lice is lice. Okay, so again, I remind you that we are talking about kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Metazoa, phylum Arthropoda, class Insecta, order Anapleura, lice. And 3 species of lice which we study in our program. 3 species of lice are cosmopolitan, are synanthropic 100%. Some students maybe had it already, some are maybe have, I don't know, but they are cosmopolitan, doesn't matter in which country you live. And these species are head louse, Pediculus humanus capitis, caput head, capitis, head louse. Body louse is quite rare, but still. Pediculus humanus corporis or Pediculus humanus, two variants possible. And crab or pubic lice of Pterus pubis. Yes, it's quite interesting. I'll tell you a little bit later. So general information about lice. First of all, they are obligate permanent ectoparasites. Obligate, what does it mean? They cannot survive without our body. So if 1 or 2 days lice do not get food, most of them die without our blood. They are permanent ectoparasites. So most of them spend on your scalp or on your clothes all their life. Yes, they cannot move far away because they all the time need bloody milk. Size of lice. They are small wingless insects, grayish in color. Some of them are more grayish, some of them a little bit lighter. Size of lice varies from 0.5 millimeter to 5 millimeter, so they are quite small. They have narrow heads. Yes, oval in shape, flattened bodies. They don't have compound eyes. They are exception. Yes, they don't need compound eyes. They live very closely to us, so they have simple eyes. Okay, antennas are short with 3 to 5 segments just. Mouth parts are retractable, toothed, so they come in, and mouth apparatus is of piercing and sucking type. Yeah, so they cut your skin and drink your blood. How they drink your blood? They have a kind of muscular pump in their stomach. Yeah, so they have esophagus, stomach like us, intestine, everything, and they have specific muscular pump to drink our blood. Okay, mouth part also includes proboscis, which goes into our vessels or already bleeding spots, and thoracic segments are fused. Abdominal segments, about 10 segments with incisions on the side, are separated from each other. Okay, so the thorax carries 3 pairs of working appendages. Appendages are quite large and powerful, and please note that every appendage ends with a claw, with a hook. Some people call it crabs. So every appendage has hooked claw. Why it needs hooked claw? Because the lice don't have wings. They got rid of this wings, and this is called morphological regression, by the way, for future topics. So they got rid of wings. They have powerful claws, and these claws can grab the human hair. So lice are like acrobats. They climb your hair very rapidly. So lice are small. They look slow, but they are not. They can easily cover the distance of 50 centimeters. So they are not as slow as you think so. Okay, so most common and cosmopolitan nowadays is the head lice. Latin name, I remind you, is Pediculus humanus capitis. So maximum size of female is 5 mm, male is a little bit smaller. Female has double incisions on its posterior end. Yes. Body, like in all insects, I remind you, is divided into head, thorax, and abdomen. And life cycle, because I told you about morphology, I don't want to repeat it. All lice are very similar, except of crab louse, little bit different. This head louse, has lifespan approximately 30 days, 1 month, sometimes a little bit more, and it produces for its life approximately 150 eggs, which are called nits. So interesting facts about lice, that approximately 12 million people contact head lice every year in all countries. I repeat for you, because it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, if you live here or in your country, all people can get it, and it's okay. So very often lice are found in children, especially children who go to school, children who have close communication with each other. Yes, head to head communication. Understand? Life cycle of lice goes with incomplete metamorphosis. All lice have incomplete metamorphosis. So adult lays eggs, which are firmly attached to the hair. Egg is called nit. Out of this egg, after approximately 10 days, hatches larva, which is able to feed on human blood. Then it transforms after 10 days into adult, and adult start to lay 10 nits, attach 10 nits to the hair per day for approximately 20 days more. Understand? So altogether these lice live for approximately 1 month. Both larvas and adult feed on human blood. Yes, that make them very, very annoying for people. And they produce eggs called nits. So please point attention at the nit. This is your exam slide, and head louse is your another exam slide. So please don't forget about your exam slides. So nit is the egg of head louse, and you can see that it is attached very, very firmly to human hair. You cannot remove nit without special chemicals. It is very, very sticky. This is the problem. And this is how nits are looking on hair. Especially they are very vivid on black hair. So it might remind dandruff, yes, sometimes something else. But if you see something whitish attached to the hair length, all hair length sometimes, basically to the root, sometimes it can go even down. It is not dandruff, it can be also nits. Okay, so please remember, it is very, very common, much more common than other parasites. When we have head lice, we call this disease pediculosis. So when we have lice, yes, when we have itching symptoms, yes, irritation on skin, it is called pediculosis. So if your hair start to itch, please ask somebody or check yourself in the mirror. It can be lice. Okay. So how people get head lice? Very, very simple. Very, very simple. You can get head lice first of all by head-to-head contact. Lice from one person's hair, yes, when you stand shoulder to shoulder or head to hand, they crawl from one hair to another. Do you understand this? Okay. You can have it somewhere in bus, for example, yes, or during sport class, or if you live together, share a room with infected person, yes. So head-to-head contact is the most frequent way to get head lice. They climb on head, they climb on shoulders, and they do it quite fast, though they are looking small and slow. No, they are not. Children can get lice anytime because they very often have groups and head-to-head contacts. And another way how you can get lice, you always forget about it. And again, I repeat, if you will not listen to lecture, it's okay, but lice will not ask you, will you listen lecture or didn't you? If you didn't listen lecture, so lice can find you anytime. So you need to be beware of them. You need to be beware of them, and not only you, all people, all educated people need to know what is lice and how to get rid of them, because anybody can get lice, as I told you before. One more common way of getting lice is using somebody's hair combs. So many people, especially who live in the coastal, can take somebody's hair comb and use infected hair combs. Especially I took it to show you that maybe you'll hear me. Okay. One more, using somebody's hats, if you share somebody's hat, or if you share somebody's pillow. If you share somebody's pillow, do you understand this? Do you understand this? Okay. So many lice, they have also adaptation to our lifestyle, and most of them can wait for you in the pillowcases in your bed. So when you are away, lice will wait for some hours in your pillow nicely and share their needs with people who want to use your bedwear or hair combs. Try to understand, this is also a common way, so do not use somebody's combs. Okay. Another lice species which are also common, but nowadays not so many people fortunately have them. So head lice are more common than body lice. Body lice, Pediculus humanus capitis, humanus or Pediculus humanus corporis, corpus, body, corporis, yes. This is the Latin variant for body lice. So nowadays body lice are not so common, but still they are possible. Especially in the homeless people. In homeless people you can get all three species of lice, by the way, so be careful when you're giving them medical assistance or touching them. Yes. So they live in old dirty clothes. When homeless goes nearby, you can see this terrible clothes, very dirty, disgusting smell, and these clothes is usually full of lice. So what is the difference? They are very, very similar. Only difference that body louse it's slightly larger, yes, slightly larger in size, a little bit lighter by color, little bit lighter, and it lives inside of garments, inside of clothes. And it's very interesting that the females try to live near clothes neck or near seams, so they try to live closer to body to get more access for your blood. And males like to live on surface of clothes. And you can see their pediculosis, their bites of lice, and the change of skin become dry and brown, irritated, due to bites of body lice, So one more thing I want to tell you: when you undress the person for examination and you see traces of spots which remind bites, it can be three basic things: lice, itch mite, and bed bug. How to understand who is it? Because you can get it yourself. So if it is itch mite, I remind you that scabies likes specific gentle spots, parts of your body. So they can live between fingers, yes, under armpits, yes. Bed bugs bites, I'll show you a little bit later. And pediculus humanus corporis bites, they have margin, they have border. So if my clothes is, that's why I'm showing to you, if I have body lice, they live inside of my dress. Here I will have no bites, but here under clothes I will have plenty. So here I will have the border, and each mite will have here, etc. Okay, so this is the difference. One more big difference between head lice and body lice. Head lice usually do not transmit lice-borne diseases, usually. Sometimes they can also. But body lice are very, very famous for lice disease transmission. About lice-borne disease I will tell you a little bit later. And the final species of lice which we study in our course, which is also synanthropic, also cosmopolitan, is crab louse. It is smaller in size than head louse. It has larger hooks. Because pubic hair is large in diameter, and it has very specific appearance that thorax and abdomen, they look jointed together, they look conjoined. So it reminds crustacean crab, though it's an insect. They have had thorax and abdomen, but they look like cephalothorax. Okay, so Pterus pubis, causative agent of pteriasis, head and body louse cause pediculosis, capitis corporis, and this one causes pteriasis. Pterus pubis is sexually transmitted because it lives on pubic hair. It can be also transmitted by towels, yes, by using somebody's underwear or towels or sponges. And some rare cases, I found information about some rare cases that these lice can hide in sand for some time, and can be transmitted even when people lay down on the beach without any towel, so on dirty sand, even up to this. Where where Pterus pubis can live. It can live on pubic hair, as I told you. It can live on your armpits. It can live on beard. It can live on beard. It can live on mustache. And as you see, it can even live on eyelashes and eyebrows. Yes. So if you see something like this, it can be Pterus pubis, pteriasis. Such situation, of course, is not very common, but if you see, don't be surprised. If people lose eyelashes, if they have inflammation, it can be demodex. Remember, each mite and demodex follicularum. And if you see that eyelashes are moving themselves, or hair on the body moves like it's going itself, it can be Pterus pubis. So this situation is quite rare. It is usually found in homeless people and in people who are mentally sick. Mentally sick people don't do much hygiene. Please remember this term. It doesn't transmit any disease. It just causes skin irritation, and it lays only 50 nits during its lifetime. So I think you understood about Pterus pubis. So symptoms of pediculosis after pteriasis is intense itching. So people all the time scratch infected parts because saliva, you remember about salivary gland, saliva of lice causes irritation. Due to constant rubbing of skin, we get skin thickening, different crusts, dermatitis, red rashes, etc. But that is not only problem with lice, especially body lice and sometimes head lice. Many lice, many people died in the beginning of 20th century because of lice. So body lice and head lice are famous for being vectors of extremely dangerous bacterial disease which is called typhus. There is a specific typhus group which unites several types of diseases: epidemic typhus, trench fever, relapsing fever, or Brill Zinser disease. More information about these diseases you will study during microbiology. And about typhus, epidemic typhus, please do not confuse it with typhoid fever. Typhoid fever, you get it by fecal oral route. This one you get by inoculation, by bite of lice and some other ways which I'm going to tell you now. So this is epidemic typhus and typhoid fever are completely different diseases. So leading etiological agent of epidemic typhus is Rickettsia provacici. Rickettsia is a specific group of microorganisms which undergo intermediate position between bacteria and vira. You'll also study them. Only significant difference which they have that they can only survive in the body of living host. So Provacic was the person who discovered this type of organism and proved that lice are vectors of typhus. Till the middle of 20th century, people didn't know much how typhus appears. They didn't know, and only studies of some doctors, including Russian doctors, they helped to create link between hygiene and lice. So typhus was a very big problem of many countries. It accompanied lots of dramatic events in these countries: revolutions, famine, war. Many people died due to typhus till the middle of 20th century. And so people noticed that if you have hygiene, if you maintain hygiene, if you don't have lice, the chances that you get typhus are very rare. If you have plenty of lice, you will die. And Russian doctors proved this statement by cell contamination. They found suspected link between lice and typhus, took the lice from infected people's body because they didn't have microscopes like you, antibodies like you, and put lice from infected person to their own body and become sick. So this is how they proved that lice are the vectors of typhus. And because of that, nowadays typhus is rare. Yes, it still exists in African countries, in India sometimes, in some Latin American countries, but nowadays it's quite rare, thanks God. So epidemic typhus is called Rickettsia prevaciki, and recurrent typhus, little bit lighter version of this disease, if you can call it lighter, is called by bacteria, proper bacteria, which is called Borrelia. Yes? So typhus is translated from Greek language like a mist. People who have typhus, they have high fever, hemorrhagical rashes, and internal hemorrhages. And very often they used to die from inflammation of heart myocarditis, brain shock, encephalitis, etc. So typhus is really, really dangerous disease. I told you that insects can change the world history. And I come back to that point. During the First World War, more than 97% of soldiers, they used to have lice. Because they were accumulated in trenches, they didn't have access for water, for soap, of course, for shampoo, and all of them, no matter officers, soldiers, used to have lice. And we believe that during First World War, lice have killed most of people. Not guns of that time, nothing else. Lice were the main killers during First World War. If it is the exaggeration, maybe very, very slight. So if you will not maintain your hygiene, yes, if you will not watch what you use for hair, if you will stay in the crowded places and you will not check yourself after, you can get many synanthropic insects, mites, and lice, of course. So be very careful. These are the posters of the time, yes, and lice were considered as venomous as weapons of the time, so you can see yourself. Very important point of today's lecture, of today's presentation: how to get rid of lice. You don't need to cut off your hair. Nowadays, you live in the 21st century. Please don't forget this. Use the century benefits. You have many benefits which your ancestors didn't have. Yes, don't forget about them. So if you have had lice first, or your group member, or your roommate, or your daughter, your son, your relative, no matter, has had lice, you don't cut hair off, especially in girls. Indian girls have very beautiful hair, really, yes. So you don't use kerosene, you don't use petrol. You go to pharmacy and ask special chemical, pediculicide, or any solution which is designed to kill lice and needs. You need to kill both. Understand? There's huge variants of these products in every pharmacy. Some of them are chemical, some of them are natural. According to your choice. Ask which one works best always. Then you read instruction and follow exactly recommendations how you should apply it. You apply it, wait 1 hour, 2 hours, then wash it. Usually we apply it once to kill adults, and second time we apply it to kill nits. Fresh alive nits have whitish color. When nits die, they become yellowish. This is another hint for you. to understand. After you killed everybody according to instruction, you take fine comb and remove dry needs. You can keep them, but they don't look nice, so you can remove them. And you check the hair for next 2 weeks. Maybe somebody has survived, understand? But this is not all. You wash your clothes, because lice can, even head lice can live on your collar sometimes. Put needs sometimes on your head, in your clothes collar. Then you need to wash your pillowcases, because needs and lice can be there. You need to wash all your combs. You need to check family members. Understand? And if lice were found in the child who go to school, you need to inform doctor or nurse that child had case of pediculosis. So all children should be checked. Remember, enterobiasis and pediculosis. Children in all countries have this problem. In all countries. So if your child recovered, but there are sick children which are present in his class, your child will have lice again, and you can get lice stop. So please remember these things. How to check for the lice? You check different hair portions. Very often lice are hidden behind the ears. I'm showing to you. So check hair thoroughly near roots, near skin, in different areas of the head, different areas of the scalp. Yes, if you see small grayish bug, this bug didn't come from tree. This bug can be lice. Understand? So please, if you have found in patient body, one minute, I'll come back. Yes, I want to start please, but need to finish with lice. If you found in your patient body lice, only thing to do is to remove affected clothes and to burn it, destroy it somewhere. Yeah, you can disinfect, but I don't know, will you have time to disinfect somebody's clothes? So better to get rid of dirty exposed clothes and give person new. It's not so expensive nowadays. If you have seen pubic lice, you simply shave affected area and apply antiseptic. That is all. It's very simple. And please remember, you know that things are going sometimes very dramatically in the world. If we will have situation when people will not be able to wash themselves, if we will have situation when people have to live all together, if people will not have ability to change clothes regularly, very soon they will have lice. If many people will have lice, typhus will come back. This disease is still present in the world, so be aware of lice. Okay, another insects which also change the world. Yes, these are fleas, order Siphanoptera. Somebody, what is not opening? Do you see my video? Do you see my translation? Do you see my translation? Internet is fine, so guys. So people who don't see, go and check the people who can see. I especially did it on YouTube. I'm doing it officially, so you don't need to be my friend or something else. All of you can watch it in YouTube and share with your friends, because I'm reading it for you for your knowledge. These things are really, really dramatic, and they have huge impact. More I go, more scary things I'm going to tell you. You know me. Okay, so fleas. Wait, yeah. Fleas belong to order Siphanoptera. Fleas are extremely numerous. There are more than 2,500 species which exist in the world. So all species of fleas are able to bite humans. All species of fleas are able to bite humans. Okay? So they are temporary obligate ectoparasites. So if lice are your friends almost forever, yes, they attach to you, they cannot go very far, they need to find host quickly. These guys are very changeable. They can easily move from one host to another because they are extremely mobile. So all species of fleas are able to feed on human blood. Dog flea, rat flea, cat flea, bird flea, bat flea, all kinds of fleas are able to feed on human blood. And if you get nearby to animals with fleas, of course you will very soon feel quite irritating bites. So fleas also feed on blood. Adults grow approximately to 3 millimeters. They are smaller than lice. Color is usually brown, and body is flattened sideways. Yes. So lice are like this, and fleas are like this. Understand? Yeah. So why? Bodies are narrow. They are covered by hard plates. They have also heterox abdomen like all insects. They are covered by hard plates called sclerites. And these sclerites are covered additionally by small hairs. Why? Because it makes easier for flea to go through their hair. It goes very quickly through their hair, understand? Or fur or feather. And this flattened body with sclerites is able to stand hard pressure. When you try to eliminate flea by scratching, rubbing, biting, if you catch flea, it's very hard to crush it. You can try. Yes, because it has sclerites and specific body shape. Yes. So mouth part has also piercing sucking type. Yes, like lice, very similar. Simple eyes. Fleas don't see very well. They don't need good eyes to see. They smell or sense their victim. And what is extremely important and interesting, that they have 3 pairs of appendages, and posterior pair or hind legs, behind legs, are giving them big ability to jump. So fleas are able to jump very high. So up to 50 centimeters up, yes, and approximately 1 meter front. Fleas can jump. So if you could jump like flea, maybe you could jump from one end of department till another of our department, from entrance to the backwards. So fleas are extremely mobile. So most of people can see me. Unfortunately, if you don't see me, if most of people can see me and those of you who cannot see me, that means you have something wrong with your net or with your software, because other students can see me nicely. If not, all students will not be able to see me, then it's my problem. Now I think it's your problem. Don't worry, lecture will be available for some time, I think, and you will be able to watch it again for some time. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, so fleas, according to species, have quite a long lifespan. They can live from several months till 4 years. Yes. Some fleas can stay attached to human body like ticks and mites for some time. Yes. And important flea species which you need to know. As I told you before, all species of fleas are able to bite human, but some of fleas can also act as the vectors of extremely dangerous diseases. We have very big attention devoted to human flea, Pulex irritans. My dear students, during exam, not a single student can tell me the name of any flea. I don't know why. Let's repeat together. Pulex irritans. Pulex irritans. Human flea. Surprise your teacher. Tell once the correct name. And second is oriental red flea, which is called, this is, I don't know how to say it, Xenopsilla cheopis. If you say during exam, oh my god, what will happen, teacher? Xenopsilla cheopis. Okay. There is another species of red fleas which also have medical importance, but if you remember this one, it will be super. Okay. Why these fleas have medical importance, extreme medical importance? Because they can serve as the vectors of plague, Black Death, plague. Do you know this disease? If you don't know, don't worry, I will try to tell you a bit about this disease. A part of human flea, red flea, which are cosmopolitan in Africa, Americas, India, yes, we have jiggers or sand fleas, chigo fleas, or Latin name is Tunga penetrans. Please point attention that these fleas go under skin, especially they do big trouble to elderly people, and they go inside of skin and stay there for some time. So these black spots is tungiosis or dermatitis. Due to these fleas, it resembles other dermatological disease and give people lots of trouble. So I just show it to you because in your countries, in your patients, you can see these jiggers, and you need to know how to help. Life cycle of flea. Fleas develop with complete metamorphosis. If you listen to me, lice develop with incomplete metamorphosis, and fleas develop with complete. Understand? So life cycle goes again depending on the species. It can go a few weeks, it can go a few months sometimes. It depends on the species of flea. You can see dead fleas and kind of dust. This is not exactly the dust or dirt. This is the larvae, look like caterpillars, and eggs of fleas. So when you check the dog and you see some dirt near the skin or on the skin, it can be eggs or larvae of fleas. So they develop with complete metamorphosis. So fleas can act as vectors of plague and vectors of some parasites which you already know. These are tapeworms. Do you know tapeworms? You should know. I'm sure that my students know. Okay, so those who don't know, classes taught them. and fleas by their eggs can distribute Diffilidum caninum, dog tapeworm. It usually affects animals but can settle in human. Hymenolepis nana, dwarf tapeworm, and similar to Hymenolepis nana, like red tapeworm, which can also happen in children. And of course, fleas are very famous for distributing plague of Black Death. So plague was most scariest thing in ancient world. Nowadays we are afraid of many things, yes, but long time ago people were afraid only of plague. It was the most scariest thing in the world. So plague is caused by gram-negative bacteria called Yersinia pestis. You will study plague also in senior courses. And transmission goes by flea bite. About typhus, let's go back to lice. Transmission of typhus goes in two variants. When louse feeds on human, it leaves feces. When human rubs the feces of lice inside of the wound, it gets rickettsia, it gets endemic typhus. When there is too many lice and person scratches the skin intensively, it can crush the lice and rub the hemolymph of louse inside of the wound, and then it will get Borrelias or spearheads and get Brill zinza or recurrent typhus. Here the mechanism of plague transmission is completely different. It doesn't go by saliva, it doesn't go by feces, it doesn't go by blood. It goes by the mechanism which is called plague block. Please note that fleas transmit only bubonic plague. What is bubonobobo? It is enlarged lymphatic node where bacteria of plague multiply, and later these lymphatic nodes become black, become necrotic and black. Okay, pneumonic plague is transmitted differently. Okay, so the mechanism of plague transmission, which you should know till the rest of your life. So the main reservoir host of plague are rodents. Basically all kinds of rodents, especially black rats. Understand? So, for example, oriental rat flea, Xenopsila chiopis, bites infected rat. Very often flea bite sick animals, diseased animals, because they have low immunity. And then plague bacteria enters the proventriculus of the flea. It's not very well visible, so I tried to draw for you maybe on the paper. I hope you can see it somehow. So blood from mouth goes to the proventriculus, pre-stomach, to the valve of stomach. This blood contains bacteria Yersinia pestis, and these Yersinia pestis multiply and form kind of slime ball or plague block on the valve, which allows blood passage in the stomach and intestine. So valve of stomach become blocked, So what happens? Valve of stomach become blocked. Blood doesn't go further in stomach or intestine. So blood hits the block, washes the bacteria, and brings it back to the wound of the host. So blood of victim hits the block, washes bacteria, and this is bacteria are going to the wound of the host. So this is how plague mechanism works. So long time ago, plague came suddenly. It spread rapidly. Nobody could escape, and nobody knew how it is coming, because fleas are extremely fast. They cannot fly, but they can jump. Yes, very rapidly. When flea become hungry, it become aggressive, maybe like you, and it thinks once this animal doesn't give me food, maybe blood has finished. So from rat it jumps into human, from human to another human, etc., etc., etc. So that's why ancient plague spread it like a fire. People didn't know long time that fleas spread plague. Only in the middle of 20th century people knew about plague. And if to stop typhus, we had hygiene, strict hygiene in the Second World War. People even made vaccines. Yes, vaccine from typhus is available. Plague, people didn't know about the reason or the vector of plague. Many of people used to visit flea circus. Yes, long time ago people didn't have net like you, YouTube like you, so they had different entertainments like flea circus. And during plague attacks, they used to watch how fleas are jumping, how vectors of plagues are jumping. Okay, why plague stopped? Still plague exists. It still exists. It exists even in Crimea. There's some folks say, but it is monitored. It is controlled. Most main reason that plague is gone, because nowadays in our places, in our cities, rats are gray. So we have gray rats. It's completely different species. It doesn't like black rats, main vector of plague. So we don't have much plague because we are neighboring with gray rats which are immune to plague. This is one of those. So anyway, flea bites are extremely irritating. Flea bites look like mosquitoes which go in a row, bite after bite after bite. They can itch for few months, sometimes from 1 week to few months. Yes. If you have animals suffer from them dramatically. Some of your animals can die even from anemia. Yes, young animals can die from anemia. And of course, if you have a human flea or rat flea, or your pet has flea, you need to do something about it. Especially if you have rat fleas, possible rat fleas. So first of all is sanitation of your house, sanitation of your pets if you don't want them to suffer, and using chemical insecticides. And of course you need to eliminate rodents from your house, from your areas. It is very, very important. If you have a human flea settled in your house, you need to know that human fleas like to live in dusty areas. They like to live in dust. They can hide under your beds, under your furniture, in your carpets. And you need to use quite strong insecticides. Sometimes some herbs help to get rid of these fleas. It's not so easy job. So if you feel that something bites and jumps on you, it can be flea. At least clean your house sometimes. Bugs. Another synanthropic insects, which are also quite common, which are cosmopolitan, and because most of you are traveling, Most of you are young people who stay in different place. This is very nice. You can be exposed to bugs. Which bugs? Which belong to order Hemiptera, and these bugs usually belong to family Simicidea, bed bugs, or Cimex lictularius, very common cosmopolitan guest, unwanted citizen in your houses. So bed bugs are red colored, small insect, wingless. This is also exam microslide, by the way. So why it's bed bug Cimex lictularius? Because it has head with simple eyes, it has thorax with 6 working appendages, it doesn't have wings like concentropic insects. Yes, we carry them on our bodies, they don't need to fly. And segmented red abdomen. Size is up to 8 millimeters. Where does it like to live? It likes to live in your beds, in soft furniture, in mattresses, where you can find bed bug. You can find in the places where many people spend their time, sleep, and then go away. So these are cheap hotels, cheap hostels, and rented flats. Very often there is old furniture, many people have lived, and some people can bring lovers or adults inside of their pockets. So as I told you before, bed bugs, they don't fly, they don't have wings, so they crawl on body, they crawl on clothes, they crawl on your jackets, they crawl inside of your bags, and you carry them from house to house. So people who travel, who have to stay in cheap hotels, situation can be different sometimes. Yes, you need to be aware of bed bugs. Okay, so bed bugs life cycle goes with incomplete metamorphosis. Larvae and adults feed on human blood. Bites of bed bug are very painful. You will start to feel them immediately, burning sensation. Okay, so how to recognize that your hostel room or your hotel room or your flat is having bed bugs? Bed bugs also similar. Yes, so if you enter the room and feel sweet smell, you can suspect bugs. Then you should check the bed where you want to stay. If you see dark spots from feces of bug, yes, or something remains like feces of bugs, it can be them also. And if you see small reddish insects which are crawling on table, on bed, on pillow, don't take risk. Don't even undress in such rooms, because when you undress, when you put your coat somewhere, when you sit on such bed, bugs can already attach to your clothes. If you want to spend night with such bugs, it will be truly unforgettable. After a few minutes, your body will start to burn, and anyway, sleeping in such bed will be impossible. Bites will ache for a long time. Fortunately, bed bugs do not transmit any specific infection, but bites are extremely painful and unpleasant. So these are the example of bites, different allergic reactions. Yes, and one more thing: if you are neat and clean, but if somehow you brought bed bug to your house, they will multiply quickly. And to get rid of bed bugs is extremely hard job. Most of people need to use strong insecticides which are toxic for human. And many people need to throw all soft furniture, sofas, mattresses, beds, sometimes even to change wallpapers, because bed bugs hide deeply inside of fabrics, and chemical will not go deeply inside of mattress. This is the problem. And one more about bugs. Do you remember this bug? When we began with your semester, we talked about protozoans. Do you remember still who is protozoans? Do you remember? Answer me something. You see me or not? I'm talking to myself. Oh, thank you, Shivam. At least somebody see me. Okay, so if you remember who are protozoans, we talked about Trypanosoma cruzi, Southern American Chagas disease, and kissing bug or assessing bug is the vector of this very scary and curable disease. It is specific vector of Trypanosoma cruzi. Please remember, you will have exam. Okay. Finally, we are coming to order Diptera. We finished with you already. General characteristics. Order Anopleura lice. Order Siphanoptera fleas. Order Hemiptera bugs. So we are doing really well. And now we are coming to extremely important and cosmopolitan order Diptera. Di means two. Ptera means wings. So double winged insects. Okay. Order Diptera, true flies, includes many common insects which belong to mosquitoes, flies, sand flies, small flies which are called midges, yes, and common characteristics of all this type, of all this order, is that they have one pair of wings, 4 wings. Hind wings are reduced and form club-like halters. What is halter? When fly comes or mosquito comes to you, you can hear buzzing sound. Zzz. These are halters. Yes, so they make sound. They have large movable head. These guys see what is going around very well. They're not like fleas or bed bugs, which just need to find nearest host, which go to people when they are accumulated. These guys see what's going on really well. So they have very large compound eyes. Mouth apparatus in most of Diptera is piercing and sucking, elongated. In housefly is licking and sucking, sponge type. Yes. All of them undergo complete metamorphosis. Larva looks like worm, and in the flies this larva is called maggot. If you go fishing, many fishermen carry whitish worms. These are maggots. First, let's talk about mosquitoes. Mosquitoes comprise a group approximately of 3,000 species. Mosquito, from Spanish, it is translated like small insect. Mosquitoes belong to family Culicidae. Okay? And if you doubt doubt medical significance of mosquitoes. Here are the numbers for those who don't believe me. More than 1.4 billion people are affected by mosquito-borne diseases every year. So mosquitoes are spread almost everywhere except of Arctic regions, and approximately 700,000 people die annually from mosquito-borne disease, different mosquito-borne diseases. And according to my experience, even people who are illiterate, who don't go to school or medical college, even they know that mosquitoes and flies are extremely dangerous. Okay, so systematic position: kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Metazoa, phylum Arthropoda, class Insecta, order Diptera, family Culicidae, mosquitoes. Family Culicidae is divided into 3 genera. There's too many species, so just remember that 3 genera, which are called Culex, Anopheles, and Aedes. Okay, Culex, Anopheles, Aedes generis. Chikungunya and others, yes, they're also present, but at least remember 3 basic. So representatives of these 3 genera are extremely important vectors of different diseases: viral, bacterial, and even helminthic. So Aedes mosquitoes, Aedes aegypti, for example. Aedes means disgusting. Black mosquito, which can carry yellow fever, dengue fever, chikungunya, and not so long time ago, very famous African virus Zika. Okay? Anopheles mosquito. I think you know very well that Anopheles mosquito carries what? What does it carry? Malarian plasmodium. 4 species of Malarian plasmodium. Most important, most dangerous is Plasmodium falciparum. Please don't forget malaria. Very important. Of course, it can also carry dengue. It can also carry yellow fever. It can also carry filarias. What is filaria? You will know next week. Yes, transmissive nematodes. And even Culex, which we call usual mosquito here, Culex. Even this mosquito can carry yellow fever, encephalitis, West Nile fever, and also participate in helminth transmission. So mosquitoes have huge medical importance. This is for you to remember what is malaria. This is filaria. For example, elephantiasis, which you will study next class, next week. And world famous, one of the most dangerous infection caused by arboviruses is yellow fever. And it can affect anybody. It doesn't care if you're rich or poor. It can really affect anyone. So body structure of mosquitoes. Mosquitoes have slender body, head, thorax, abdomen, one pair of wings with distinct scales on the surface. Wings are long and narrow. They also have long narrow legs. Yes, they have slender bodies which have length approximately from 3 to 6 millimeter, but can be larger sometimes. Color is usually dark gray, Anopheles culex to black in the Aedes. Some species can have additional patterns on their thorax, additional patterns. When they sit at rest, when they are resting, they tend to hold their first pair of legs outwards. They try to hold their legs outwards in the resting position. They are having complete metamorphosis cycle, and stages of mosquito, life stages of mosquito, first life stages, are highly dependent on water, so they are aquatic stages. Like all flies, all members of Lepidoptera, mosquitoes go through four basic stages of life: egg, larva, pupa, adult, or imago. First three stages happen in water. If we talk about Culex and Anopheles, these stages are not possible without water. If we talk about Aedes, these stages are possible in damp soil. Yes, Aedes can survive even in the moist soil. Mosquitoes have evolutionary adaptation that they need fresh water, but this fresh water can be in any amount and any quality. It can be very clean, it can be very stagnant. So mosquitoes can grow in the bottle which you forgot near your house, in different bags or plastics which you left in rainy season, on puddles, in street, in small lakes, in rivers near the shore. They need any kind of fresh water, of course. So life cycle of mosquito have different duration depending on the species, but each of the stages is lasting approximately from 5 to 14 days according to species, and the temperature is around. More hotter is the temperature, more faster life cycle goes. So in hot season, from egg to imago, you can have it in 2 weeks. So how life cycle goes: adult female, only female, feeds on human blood. It needs to get iron, it needs to get protein. After bloody meal, it rests for a few days, and then it lays the eggs. After a few days, out the eggs hatches larva. Larva has gills, and feeds near the water surface. It travels very close to the water film. After a few days after growing and feeding, larva turns into comma-shaped pupa, which is almost immobile, undergoes transformation, and out of the water you can see sometimes that young mosquitoes are flying. Sometimes when you will have your practice, you will have malaria cases which are present in your settlements, suddenly. And people might ask you to check where malaria appeared from. So you need to know distinct differences between Anopheles and Culex. So Anopheles eggs, which are floating on the water surface, are cigar-shaped, yes, they float separately from each other. Culex eggs are forming raft. They float as a raft, they float all together. Larva of Anopheles, your exam microslide, I'll show it to you later. It swims parallel to the water. A, it needs food, and B, sometimes it needs oxygen. So it has bristles and tube to get some oxygen from the surface. Larva of Culex, it swims under angle because it has respiratory siphon. This is the main difference. So when you look in the water, if you see such larvas, they look like caterpillars. You can see which mosquito is present near your house. Mosquitoes can fly very huge distances. They can cover 10 kilometers. easily for 24 hours. Yes, and in 1 hour they can cover up to 1-2 kilometers. So mosquitoes are really good flyers. They sense adrenaline, they sense sweat of human, and they find human by smell very, very rapidly. So pupas, comma-like shape. They're very, very similar, but in Anopheles we have conical respiratory trumpets, and in Culex we have cylindrical. And very important difference, which you can make without any microscope by your naked eyes, their position of mosquito on your body. Anopheles always sits under angle, and it has black scales if you see them, but many very important criteria that it sits under angle. And Culex sits almost parallel. So when you see mosquito on your body, if you notice, because mosquitoes are active at dusk and dawn, they're small, they are non-noticeable, they act when it's dark, yes, they're tricky. So if somehow you saw mosquito which sits under angle on your body, this is Anopheles, and you need to check yourself for malaria. Yes, because we don't have immunity for malaria, unfortunately. Okay, so please pay attention to Culex larva with respiratory siphon and Anopheles larva without respiratory siphon. Okay, so it has head, thorax, abdomen, yes, bristles, etc. So exam microslide. Culex pupa, which floats a few days on underwater surface. It has cephalothorax inside the wings and legs, the abdomen, eye, and cylindrical trumpets is how it gets air. It's important. Cylindrical trumpets. This is another exam slide. This is also exam slide. Pupa of Anopheles with conical trumpets. These slides are exactly from your exam. Conical, black-eyed, and cylindrical, brown-eyed like me. Okay. Why do we need to know how mosquitoes grow? What is the life cycle? Because we can control mosquitoes. Control of mosquitoes is same as control of malaria, is same as control of yellow fever, West Nile fever, etc. If you control mosquito, you control all of these diseases. Or mostly control, okay. So if mosquitoes grow in the water, we can fight with them in the water. In the air, we fail. So our basic task is to stop mosquitoes growing in the water. How we can do it? First, remove the stagnant water. No water, no mosquitoes, except of Aedes. Okay, but Aedes is not so cosmopolitan. Okay, we cannot remove water. We need this water. Then we block the passage of oxygen to the mosquitoes. We will use oil film. Okay, if we cannot use oil film, we can use chemicals. Insecticides against adults, against aquatic stages. If we cannot use film, chemicals, we need this water, we drink this water. We use most preferable natural and physical methods. World famous fish which fights with mosquitoes is called gambusia, mosquito fish. Yes, it eats larvae and pupas very nicely. Only problem, it likes to live in the quite warm waters. Yes, in cold regions it doesn't like to live much. But anyway, if you don't have gambusia, any other fishes will do. Besides of fishes, there is many biological methods. My students are making report about these methods, and I think we'll download presentation and you will read different methods of mosquito control. Fungi, frogs, fishes, genetical methods. It's really interesting. So if people apply all these methods, mosquitoes will reduce. And the proof that these methods are effective, as I told my students before, the example of such effective work is Sochi region, Russian subtropical region. Maybe you'll visit it, which used to have malaria a long time ago, and now it is very beautiful city. There a long time ago it was very scary place. Personal prevention of mosquitoes. personal prevention. Apply repellents. Repellents are things which mask your smell. You apply them always on clothes, not on naked body. They are toxic. Use different fumigators, herbal, chemical, but please have access of fresh air. Yes. And use nets on doors and windows. Mosquito nets, please. Your settlement should be covered by nets. If you go somewhere swampy areas, if you need to go there, please wear severe hard protective clothes. Through thin clothes, mosquito can get through. Okay? So control of mosquito can save your life. Really. If I'm exaggerating, very, very slightly. Next, representatives of diphtheria are family Muscida flies. Family Muscida flies. So, most typical representative of this family, which is cosmopolitan, which can be with you in your room right now, is called Musca domestica or house fly. So, kingdom Animalia, Musca domestica, subkingdom Metazoa, phylum Arthropoda, class Insecta, order Diptera, family Muscidae, Musca domestica, house fly. House fly. House fly has spread all over the world. It is the commensal of human. What does it mean, commensal? It eats what you didn't finish eating. It is not blood sucking. All previous guys which were studied, they were blood suckers. This is not. This is commensal. It is the most common species which is found in human houses. Adults are gray to black with four dark longitudinal stripes or lines on thorax. They have hairy bodies, single pair of large membranous wings. They have red compound eyes, and females are slightly larger than males. So life cycle of housefly goes in your houses. Usually it goes in the kitchen, it goes near the garbage where some protein is available, decaying mass is available for flies, yes. And if temperature is more than 14 degrees, approximately 20 degrees, life cycle of fly goes in just 7 days. So somewhere near your dustbin, you might have small eggs. Female lays approximately 100 eggs per batch, yes. And after 1 day, these eggs turn into whitish larvas or reddish little bit larvas called maggots. These maggots feed on decaying protein, decaying rubbish, molt 3 times, then turn into pupa, and after a few days it turns in adult fly, which lives with you in your rooms. In southern countries, these flies are small. In northern countries, these flies can be quite large. Okay. Mouth part is adapted for liquid diet. Yes. Maxilla mandible is reduced. If you saw that mosquito has proboscis, this one almost doesn't have it. It has large labellum for leaking the liquid or decaying material. It has also organs of taste which are located on legs, so when a fly goes on the table, it already sensing where is food is dropped at your table or on your floor. Okay. What is interesting about fly is that it has compound eyes, and fly can see things really well. Flies see the things 7 times faster than you do. So when you try to kill fly, Yes, it sees you like you're moving in a very, very slow motion. That's why it always tries to run away from you. So they have good organs of smell. They have good organs of taste. Yes, they have powerful wings, and houseflies can fly for several kilometers from their breeding places, carrying a wide variety of organisms on their heads, mouth parts, inside of their intestine, and inside of their feces. Parasites, I told you before, which are transmitted by flies, not only house flies but another synanthropic flies which you can see on streets. This is Lucilia, meat fly, flesh fly, sarcophaga. Yes, you can see them on feces, on garbage, on dead animals. All these flies and house fly can transmit as mechanical vectors approximately 65 diseases. What does it mean, mechanical vector? Mechanical vector is the vector where parasite doesn't go phase of life cycle. So it simply attaches inside or outside or inside of the body and travels with this vector, with this fly, quite a big distance, up to a few kilometers. So parasites carry cysts of protozoa like Entamoeba histolytica, Giardia lamblia, eggs of helminths like Ascaris lumbricoides, Trichocephalus, Hymenalepis, and Pterobius. And of course, more than 100, some people say 65, some people say 100 stamps of bacteria and viral like typhoid, cholera, salmonellosis, bacterial dysentery, tuberculosis, anthrax, pyogenic cocci. And if they bring them to the hospital, all these things to the hospital, yes, it will be very big trouble. So when you work in hospital, fly, especially in operation ward, should not be present. It's not okay. If you understand what I say, okay? So even such flies, synanthropic flies, have some use. And if you want to be a forensic doctor, want to investigate why people died, there is a special branch called forensic entomology, which study life cycle of different flesh flies. Yes, and according to their life cycle, pupas or maggots, species of maggots which are present in the dead bodies, we can identify time and place, region of death. Yeah, so forensic entomology, it looks very scary, but it's useful sometimes to establish where person's body came from and how long person have been dead. Okay, so house flies, flesh flies, meat flies, they are commensals and they act as mechanical vectors. But some flies can act as parasites. They are temporary ectoparasites and they feed on our blood and flesh. So some flies are blood sucking, some wild flies are blood sucking, and some flies, adults, are not blood sucking, but their larvae feed on tissues, on human flesh. So blood sucking flies, there is huge amount of these flies. Some of them we studied, some of them you know without me. African tsetse fly, sleeping sickness, which you should know. Yes, deer flies, bow flies, which feed on blood of human and animals, tamoxis, calcitrans, etc. So many flies are blood-sucking parasites of humans and animals. And some flies, some adults, do not feed on human blood, but instead their larvae do. Please remember that larvae of flies are able to cause disease which is called meiosis. Meiosis is disease, again, which is provoked the larvae of flies. Meiosis can be accidental when, for example, you eat accidentally larvae of flies, uh, you bought shawarma, something else, fly went inside of your bag while you were carrying it, laid down its eggs, and you ate these eggs accidentally on decaying food. Eggs hatched inside of your intestine, larvae came out and cause severe food poisoning because they want to leave your body. This is accidental meiosis. Can be intestinal and urinary. Urinary when larvae crawl in your urinary tract from, for example, bedware. Next, semi-specific meiosis. This picture is disgusting, but this is how semi-specific meiosis looks like. Semi-specific meiosis, though it looks scary, it's not so dangerous. Because larvae, flesh flies, meat flies, Musca domestica, larvae flies which I showed you before, they feed on decaying tissues. So they fly over infected person. They smell the scents of rotten wounds, pyogenic wounds, yes, cuts, grazes. Many people have wounds, receive wounds, and they smell, yes, attractive for fly. Fly thinks that it's somebody dead. It lays eggs or gives birth to larvae straight away. Sometimes, yes, some flies are viviparous. They give birth straight away to larvae. And these larvae, maggots, eat decaying flesh. They don't touch fresh tissues. So if you see such meiosis, you can simply wash off the larvae. If it happened in the nose, you remove by forceps the stuck larvae, and that will do. So all wounds, especially in the hot climate, they should have bandage. Understand? Okay. Specific meiosis. Specific meiosis is the most scariest thing which flies can do to your body. Part of sleeping sickness, of course. So some flies, some species of flies are not satisfied by your dead tissues. They want live, fresh tissues and blood. So larvae are laid on skin straight away, usually ready to go larvae. They go under skin, or they go inside of inner organs, sometimes inside of nasal cavity, and spend their lifespan for some time eating these organs and tissues. So this is specific meiosis. One of the most scariest representatives of flies which cause specific meiosis is called Wolfartia magnifica. It is common in Africa, it is common in Middle Asia. Adult flies feed on nectar, on flowers, but if it goes across the village and if it smells that somebody in this village has hair wounds, it goes near the scalp, drops ready to go larva. Larva buries under the hair scalp and eats hair scalp up to the bone. Yes, this is wolfartiasis. A part of Wolfartia specific meiosis are caused by bow flies, bot flies, deer flies, Cordylobia fly in Africa. So quite a lot of flies can cause specific meiosis. Treatment is surgical. Either larva destroys tissues, either larva dies and cause abscess. And many people, what is surprising for me, that many people live with these larvae in their head, in their body, and they don't go for doctor's help. So number of these larvae can be sometimes very dramatic, and it looks really scary. So control of flies. If you have synanthropic flies, flesh flies, meat flies, the control is disposal of garbage, cleaning your house, and please pay attention. If you want to control flesh flies, house fly, your home and street too need to be neat and clean. So no dead animals, no feces, no garbage. If you want to place garbage somewhere, you put it into reservoir which is locked. Yes, so you put it in the box that larvae don't go in the ground, because larvae of flies grow in the ground very often, and that flies don't go inside of this garbage to lay their eggs. So garbages should be located far from city, as far as possible, that adults do not go to your houses, do not reach the city. So it's very important, garbage disposal. And if you talk about parasitic flies, you can only use the application of insecticides, of nets, of repellents, protective clothes, and avoiding staying near animals at hot season. Very often ectoparasitic flies are common near animals. Yes, so please be very careful with horses, cows, sheep, especially in hot season. Other diphtheria also include sandflies. If you remember again, protozoans, they are vectors of Leishmania, Tropican Donovania. Chrysops flies, big flies with bright eyes, they are vectors of lower eyeworm, which you're gonna study next week. Yes, we'll start with filariasis. Family Simulida is the vector of very scary helminth called Onchocerca volvulus, and it causes river blindness. So very small flies give parasite which destroys eyes of people, retina. And the last thing which I'm going to tell you, what is midges. Midges is accumulation of small blood-sucking flies. It can be black flies, sand flies, mosquitoes, tsetse flies, all blood-sucking parasites which accumulate into flock and attack everything living, organism, human, animal, which is present on their territory. It's extremely dangerous event, and if you get in the flock of midges, you can have very big risk of having transmissive disease. So midges occur on some territories in Africa, in Siberia, related to seasonal activity, and if you know that country already has midges, better avoid it. Okay, thank you for your attention. Write me your questions, your comments. Thank you for your time, for waiting for me, for your support. It's really great. I hope we will see each other soon. So your questions, please write me in VK. Thank you for being with me this morning.